The moment we've all been waiting for is finally here. The trailer for The Summer I Turned Pretty, Season 3 Episode 7 has dropped, and it looks like everything we thought we knew about this season is about to change. In just a few seconds of clips, the trailer delivers a wave of emotions, romance, heartbreak, tension, and those quiet moments that remind us why this story feels so real. The question on every fan's mind is clear. How much more can Belly's heart take before she has to make the choice that will shape her entire future? Episode 7 promises to be the turning point, the episode where emotions boil over and secrets that were kept in the shadows finally step into the light. This is not just another chapter in the love triangle. It feels like the chapter that could redefine everything for Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah. The first thing that grabs your attention in the trailer is the mood. The music starts off soft, almost nostalgic, giving you a false sense of calm. But as the seconds tick by, the pace quickens, the camera cuts get sharper, and the intensity rises. The visual tone screams that something major is about to happen, and the showrunners clearly want us to feel that shift. The opening shots focus on Belly, her expressions carrying the weight of every decision she's made so far. There's a quick glimpse of her standing alone by the water, looking conflicted, as if the waves themselves are carrying her thoughts back and forth. It's a powerful image that mirrors the push and pull of her feelings between Conrad and Jeremiah. This is the visual language of the show at its best, without words. It lets us feel the storm that's brewing inside her. Then come the fast flashes, the ones you almost miss if you don't pause and rewind. We see Conrad looking away, his jaw tight, his eyes filled with something unsaid. There's Jeremiah, his energy different this time, less playful, more intense, as if he knows time is running out for him to prove himself. The editing doesn't let us sit with one image for too long, because that's the point. Episode 7 is going to be chaos. Quick cuts of Belly at a party, then suddenly a tear rolling down her face. Then a heated moment where Conrad and Jeremiah are clearly not on the same page. It's tension stacked on top of tension, and it all builds into that sense that something huge is about to break open. But the trailer doesn't just focus on the triangle. We catch glimpses of other characters, too. Steven giving Belly a look that could mean advice or warning. Taylor appearing in the background with her signature mix of loyalty and fire. And Laurel, who always manages to bring wisdom into the most difficult of moments. These short clips remind us that Episode 7 won't just be about Belly's love life. It will also touch on friendships, family, and the bittersweet feeling of growing up and letting go. Every glance, every half-finished sentence, every emotional beat in the trailer seems carefully chosen to remind us that this is bigger than one decision. It's about the transition from being a teenager caught in summer love to becoming someone who has to live with the weight of choices. And then there's the editing style itself. It's clever, almost manipulative in the best way. The trailer slows down during Belly's emotional moments, then speeds up when the conflict between Conrad and Jeremiah takes center stage. The music swells at just the right point, building us up for a revelation, only to cut off suddenly, leaving us hanging. That cut is intentional. It's the show's way of saying, you think you know what's coming, but you don't. The entire tone suggests that Episode 7 is designed to leave us on edge, questioning what will happen next, maybe even doubting the direction we thought this season was headed by the end of the trailer. One thing is clear: Episode 7 isn't just a continuation, it's a climax waiting to explode. The look on Belly's face in those final seconds of the trailer says it all. She's caught between love and heartbreak, between the past and the future, and between two brothers who can't seem to let her go. And as viewers, we know this episode is going to test her in ways we've never seen before. The trailer doesn't give us answers, it gives us questions. And those questions are powerful enough to keep us talking until the episode airs. Asterisk Belly's emotional journey has always been at the heart of The Summer I Turned Pretty, but in Episode 7, the trailer hints that her struggles will reach a breaking point. From the very first shots, you can sense that Belly is carrying more weight than ever before. She's caught in that fragile space between girlhood and adulthood, where every choice feels permanent and every mistake feels like the end of the world. What makes her journey so gripping in this episode is not just who she will choose between Conrad and Jeremiah, but what that choice will say about who she is becoming. The trailer shows Belly in moments of stillness, standing alone, staring into the distance, lost in thought, and those pauses speak louder than any words could. It's a reminder that sometimes the hardest battles aren't the ones we fight with others, but the ones we fight with ourselves. One of the key emotional threads hinted at is Belly's attempt to reconcile her past feelings with her present reality. The trailer shows glimpses of her thinking about Conrad, those memories that refuse to fade, those small moments that tie her back to him no matter how hard she tries to move forward. But at the same time, Jeremiah is there, offering her a version of love that feels safer, warmer, and more consistent. Belly is caught in this push and pull, and what's so heartbreaking is that neither option comes without pain. If she leans toward Conrad, she risks reopening old wounds and stepping into a cycle of hurt. If she turns to Jeremiah, she risks breaking his heart later if her love isn't as deep as his. The trailer teases this conflict beautifully by showing her torn expressions, moments where she's smiling one second but on the verge of tears the next. Her emotional journey isn't just about romance, though it's also about identity. Belly has always been the girl in the middle, the one torn between two brothers, the one struggling to prove her place. But in episode 7, we see hints that she's starting to realize this isn't just about choosing between Conrad and Jeremiah. It's about choosing herself. The trailer captures those glimpses of independence, like when she's shown walking away from a crowd or sitting in silence, as though she's retreating inward to find her voice. It's in these quieter moments that the audience feels her growth. She's no longer the girl simply reacting to the chaos around her. She's learning to take control of her own story, even if it means hurting the people she loves most. The heartbreak in Belly's journey becomes even more intense when you consider the timing of episode 7. By this point in the season, everything is on edge. Relationships are fragile, secrets are bubbling to the surface, and the weight of the past hangs heavy over every decision. The trailer reflects this by showing Belly breaking down in tears, her face filled with a mixture of frustration, sadness, and exhaustion. It's the kind of raw emotion that tells us she's not just dealing with a love triangle, she's dealing with the pressure of growing up, of realizing that choices have consequences, and that sometimes no option will leave everyone happy. Belly's emotional turmoil is the kind of storytelling that resonates because it mirrors the real struggles of adolescence, the confusion, the longing, and the fear of making the wrong choice. Another striking detail is how Belly's body language shifts throughout the trailer. At times, she looks small and lost, her arms crossed or her gaze cast down, like she's trying to protect herself from the world. But in other moments, there's a quiet strength in her eyes, as if she's ready to stand up for what she wants, no matter the cost. This duality, weakness and strength, doubt and courage, is what makes her such a compelling character. Shows that she's still in transition, still figuring out who she is. And that episode 7 will likely force her to take a step she's been avoiding for too long. The emotional weight of Belly's journey also extends to her relationships beyond Conrad and Jeremiah. Her bond with her mother, Laurel, has always been a source of grounding, and the trailer hints at a possible heart-to-heart moment that could guide Belly when she feels lost. Laurel's wisdom often reminds Belly, the audience, that love is never simple, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose yourself first. Belly's friendships, particularly with Taylor, also appear to play a role, as Taylor has always been both a mirror and a motivator for her growth. These connections remind us that Belly's story isn't just about romance. It's about the people who shape her into the person she is becoming. By the end of the trailer, Belly's emotional journey feels like a storm that's about to break. The tears, the conflicted glances, the quiet moments of reflection, all of it builds to the sense that episode 7 will push her to finally confront the truth she's been avoiding. The question is not just who she will choose, but whether she's ready to live with the consequences of that choice. The trailer doesn't hand us the answer, and that's what makes it so powerful. Instead, it leaves us hanging, desperate to see whether Belly will follow her heart, her head, or perhaps a new path entirely, one that belongs to her alone. Asterisk the tension between. Conrad and Jeremiah has always been the backbone of The Summer I Turned Pretty. But in episode 7, the trailer makes it clear that their conflict is heading toward a breaking point. The flashes we see are short but powerful: Conrad's brooding silence, Jeremiah's fiery determination, and Belly caught in the middle, unsure of which direction to turn. This is not just about two brothers in love with the same girl anymore. It's about years of unspoken words, old wounds, and the quiet rivalry that has been simmering since childhood, finally erupting into something they can't ignore. The trailer captures this raw energy perfectly, giving us a glimpse of a confrontation that could change their relationship forever. From the very start of the trailer, you can feel the difference in how each brother carries himself. Conrad is distant, his emotions tightly locked away behind guarded eyes. He avoids direct confrontation, but his pain is written all over his face. Jeremiah, on the other hand, is direct, wearing his heart on his sleeve, no longer afraid to stand his ground. There's a shot of him looking right at Conrad, his expression serious, almost daring him to say what he's been holding back. It's a silent challenge, and the trailer cuts away just before anything explodes, leaving us to wonder how far their rivalry will go in episode 7. One of the most powerful themes in their conflict is jealousy. Both brothers are no strangers to it, but the trailer suggests it's about to hit a peak. There's a moment where Conrad looks at Belly and Jeremiah together, his jaw tightening just enough to tell us everything he's feeling. For Conrad, Belly has always been the one person who made him feel understood, the one anchor in a world that often feels unstable. Watching her lean closer to Jeremiah is like reliving the loss of her all over again. Jeremiah, on the other hand, is tired of being in Conrad's shadow. His determination in this episode seems to come not just from his love for Belly, but from a desire to prove himself not just to her, but to everyone. The trailer frames this perfectly with shots of Jeremiah stepping forward, physically taking up space in a way he hasn't before, as if he's done playing second best. The conflict isn't just romantic, it's deeply personal. Years of being brothers, of competing silently for attention, of carrying the weight of family trauma have built up to this moment. The trailer hints at emotional explosions, not just in words but in body language. There's a scene where Jeremiah's voice cracks, his face filled with frustration. While Conrad turns away, his silence louder than any shouting could be. These contrasts, Jeremiah's openness and Conrad's restraint, highlight why Belly is so torn between them. Each brother represents something different. Jeremiah offers passion, warmth, and a promise of stability, while Conrad represents depth, history, and a love that feels both irresistible and painful. Episode 7 seems designed to force Belly and the audience to confront just how messy love can be when it's tangled with family. The rivalry is also set against a backdrop of loyalty and betrayal. The trailer hints at Jeremiah confronting Conrad, possibly accusing him of playing with Belly's emotions, while Conrad seems weighed down by guilt, unable to deny the pull he feels toward her. What makes this dynamic heartbreaking is that both of them are right in their own way. Conrad can't stop loving Belly, even if he knows it might hurt her, and Jeremiah can't stop fighting for her, even if it means tearing his relationship with his brother apart. The trailer shows the pain in both of them, reminding us that no matter how this triangle ends, someone is going to walk away broken. But perhaps the most telling moment is not in the arguments, but in the silences. There's a quick shot where both brothers are in the same frame, standing on opposite sides of a room, with Belly in the middle. She looks torn, her eyes flickering between them, while neither Conrad nor Jeremiah moves closer. That image says everything. Episode 7 is not just about love. It's about the impossible choice that threatens to divide a family. It's about two brothers who both want the same future, but know only one of them can have it. And it's about the emotional cost of that truth finally sinking in as the trailer crescendos, as the energy shifts from subtle tension to outright confrontation. The music grows heavier, and the quick cuts suggest shouting, tears, and maybe even a physical clash between the brothers. But just as it feels like it's about to reveal the explosion, the trailer cuts to black, leaving us hanging. Intentional, it leaves fans desperate to see just how far Conrad and Jeremiah will go in episode 7. Will they finally say the words they've avoided for years? Will Belly's decision drive them further apart, or will it force them to confront their feelings and mend what's been broken? Episode 7 is shaping up to be the moment when the triangle stops being a game of glances and unspoken feelings. It becomes a battle of love, loyalty, and truth. The trailer makes one thing crystal clear: the brothers' conflict is no longer something Belly can ignore. It's going to consume everyone, and the fallout will change everything moving forward. Asterisk. Every trailer for the summer I turn pretty hide secrets between the lines. But episode 7's first look is packed with details that hint at surprising twists. If you watch closely, it's clear the creators are building toward a moment that will shock fans. The glimpses we've been given suggest that episode 7 isn't just about romance, it's about truth, heartbreak, and the kind of revelations that can change the course of the season. What makes this trailer stand out is not just the love triangle tension, but the subtle hints that other storylines are about to collide with Belly's choices, making episode 7 feel like the emotional turning point of season 3. One of the first things that stands out is the presence of side characters in scenes that feel unusually important. There's a blink and you miss it moment of Steven giving Belly a serious look, almost as if he knows something she doesn't. That expression feels heavy, not like his usual teasing brother energy, and it suggests episode 7 might put him in a position where he has to confront Belly with a truth she's not ready to hear. Taylor also shows up, and in one quick frame, she seems upset, maybe even angry, raising questions about whether she knows more about Belly's situation with Conrad and Jeremiah than she's letting on. These smaller threads could be key because The Summer I Turned pretty often uses supporting characters to shine a light on the bigger emotional storms at play. Another twist hinted at in the trailer involves Laurel. Belly's mother has always been the grounding force of the show. We see a short clip of her sitting across from Belly, her expression firm but sympathetic. It feels like a setup for a heart-to-heart conversation, one that might force Belly to stop avoiding the choice she's been running from all season. Laurel's advice often carries weight because she speaks not just as a mother, but as someone who has lived through heartbreak herself. Her presence in this trailer reminds us that the show has always been about more than just teen romance. It's about family, growth, and learning how to love yourself enough to make hard decisions. A surprising twist here could be Laurel pushing Belly to put herself first, even if it means stepping away from both brothers for now. But the biggest moments in the trailer are the ones that feel deliberately mysterious. There's a scene where Belly looks stunned, as if she's just heard something that completely changes how she sees everything. The screen cuts too quickly for us to know exactly what she's reacting to, but her shocked expression lingers long enough to suggest a secret is revealed in episode 7. Could it be something about Conrad's feelings that he's never said out loud? Or is it Jeremiah confessing something that changes the way Belly sees him? The trailer leaves that unanswered, but it's clear that episode 7 is designed to give us at least one. It's a jaw-dropping reveal. The first look also teases the possibility of a goodbye. There's a quiet shot of Belly standing near a car at night, her expression pained, as if she's about to walk away from someone she loves. It could be a metaphorical scene, but it also might signal that episode 7 brings a temporary separation between Belly and one of the brothers. This is where the storytelling shines. It knows how to use visual cues to create dread, making us wonder if the summer that began with endless possibilities is about to end in heartbreak. The idea of a goodbye makes episode 7 feel even more important, because it could mark the last time the triangle exists in its current form. There's also the matter of tone. While earlier trailers leaned heavily on nostalgia and summer romance, the episode 7 teaser feels heavier, almost like a storm cloud rolling in. The color palette in some of the shots is darker, with shadows filling the spaces where there once was sunshine. Even the music choices in the trailer signal a shift, soft notes breaking into dramatic crescendos, leaving viewers on edge. This tonal change is itself a twist, suggesting that episode 7 isn't about lighthearted romance anymore, but about consequences. The shift in mood makes it clear the writers are preparing us for heartbreak, but also transformation. Another overlooked detail is the pacing of the trailer. The quick cuts, especially toward the end, create a rhythm of chaos, laughter turning into tears, stares turning into confrontations, quiet moments exploding into loud ones. Buried in that rhythm are hints of events that we may not fully grasp until the episode airs. There's a shot of Jeremiah reaching out, another of Conrad turning away, and then a cut to Belly looking more broken than ever. When you stitch those fragments together, it feels like episode 7 will deliver a devastating emotional twist.
Ow.
One that leaves viewers questioning what comes next. The most intriguing part, though, is how the trailer refuses to give us any closure. It builds up to what looks like a major confrontation, then cuts off before we see what happens. That cliffhanger energy suggests episode 7 is the season's tipping point, the moment everything we've been waiting for finally collides. The love triangle won't stay balanced after this. Secrets won't stay hidden. And Belly won't be able to avoid making a choice anymore. The first look makes it clear that episode 7 is the storm before the calm. Or maybe the storm that never ends. By the end of the trailer, the anticipation is unbearable. The surprising twists aren't just about shock value, they're about forcing the characters to face truths they've been running from. Belly will have to stop pretending she can hold on to both Conrad and Jeremiah. The brothers will have to face the damage their rivalry has caused. And everyone around them, Stephen, Taylor, Laurel, will play a role in how it all unravels. Episode 7 isn't just another installment. It feels like the emotional heart of Season 3, the place where the story finally tips into something that will leave fans talking long after the credits roll. Asterisk. Episode 7 of The Summer I Turned Pretty isn't just another episode, it feels like the emotional center of the entire season. And the closing moments of the trailer make it clear that this story is heading into its most intense territory yet. What makes this episode so important is not only the love triangle, but the weight of the choices each character has to face. The final section of the trailer breakdown shows us the anticipation, the heartbreak, and the uncertainty that lies ahead, leaving fans both excited and terrified of what's to come. This is where the threads of romance, family, and friendship all come together, creating a storm that can't be avoided. The closing feels less like a question of what will happen, and more like how much will it hurt when it does. Heart of this wrap-up is Belly's decision. For 2.5 seasons, we've watched her swing between Conrad and Jeremiah, pulled in different directions by the history she shares with one and the stability she finds in the other. But episode 7 feels like the place where she can no longer postpone choosing. The trailer's closing images make it obvious that everything is reaching its breaking point: Conrad's silence, Jeremiah's open frustration, and Belly's tear-filled eyes that show she can't keep living in the middle. What makes this closing so powerful is that it doesn't tell us who she will pick, leaves us with the dread that no matter what, someone's heart will be shattered. Fans are left to wonder, is Belly ready to finally stop running from this choice? Or will the writers pull the rug out from under us with a twist that keeps us waiting until the finale? The anticipation also builds around the fallout of the brothers' conflict. It's not just about romance anymore. It's about the bond between Conrad and Jeremiah. A bond that has been strained for years and might finally snap. The trailer suggests that episode 7 could be the moment where their relationship is tested beyond repair. A heated confrontation seems inevitable. And the heartbreaking truth is that even if Belly finds her clarity, the damage between the brothers may not be so easily healed. That's the kind of emotional weight this show thrives on, reminding us that love triangles aren't just about love. They're about family, loyalty, and what happens when those things collide. The closing section makes us feel like we're standing on the edge of that explosion, waiting to see if there's anything left when the smoke clears. What's equally intriguing is the way the trailer hints at closure and new beginnings at the same time. There's a lingering sense that episode 7 could be the end of one chapter and the start of another. The way the music swells, then cuts off suddenly, feels like a metaphor for the season itself. An emotional build that leaves us dangling, waiting for the final reveal. Fans who have followed Belly's journey from season 1 know that these moments of suspense often lead to heartbreak, but also growth. Episode 7 could be the episode where Belly finally learns that choosing love also means losing something, and that lesson will carry into whatever comes next. It's painful, but it's real, and that's why viewers are so hooked. The closing also emphasizes the role of the side characters in what's about to unfold. Laurel's wisdom, Stephen's protective instincts, Taylor's blunt honesty. Of these voices could play into the choices Belly makes. The trailer suggests that this isn't just Belly's burden to carry alone. Everyone around her will feel the ripple effects of her decision. And that's what makes this episode feel so monumental. It's not just about a girl choosing between two boys. It's about how love, loss, and growing up affect an entire circle of people. The way the trailer positions these side moments hints that episode 7 could deliver unexpected confrontations or heartfelt scenes that remind us that summer isn't just about romance. It's about family, friendship, and the lessons we carry with us into adulthood. Perhaps the most powerful part of the closing is the way it leaves fans with questions rather than answers. Will Belly finally confess her true feelings? Will Conrad open up before it's too late? Will Jeremiah fight harder than ever, or step aside for the sake of his brother? And most importantly, will the love triangle finally move toward resolution? Or will episode 7 end with more heartbreak than clarity? The trailer doesn't tell us, and that's exactly why the anticipation is so overwhelming. By cutting off at the height of the tension, leaves viewers desperate for the episode, eager to see whether their theories will come true or be completely shattered. As the final seconds of the trailer fade, one thing becomes undeniable: episode 7 is the storm at the center of season 3. It's where all the emotions, choices, and conflicts finally collide. And it's clear that nothing will be the same afterward. The closing message is simple but powerful. Love has a price, and episode 7 is where that price will finally be paid. The only question left is, who will lose the most when the credits roll? Fans will have to wait, but one thing is certain: conversation after episode 7 will be louder, more passionate, and more emotional than ever before.